G'day guys, welcome to a Monday Made video, and today we're introducing you guys to our new office. Obviously, you guys know Fatih here and myself, but also in the past few months, I would say, Jono's kind of joined in and does a lot of work for us, with us, but he's also got his own brand, so maybe tell us a little bit about yourself first.
My name's Jono, my brand is Sayus Media, and I pretty much just got into photography and videography through just personal interest.
What do you guys think of the space, by the way? It's kind of cool. What do you guys think of the space? What do you think of the space?
Yeah, I'm really happy with it, really happy with how it turned out. It's been productive, although still sort of teething things, such as like moving from my PC at home to using purely Mac only, being a laptop in the Mac Studio and everything. That's like more about the work itself, but the space is looking really good. I'm really happy with how it turned out.
Yeah, we're still moving in, and I am really, really sick of going to IKEA. I don't know how many times I've been to IKEA. It's doing my head in. And also just thinking about what would work, what doesn't work. And then we go here and then we're like, well, crap.
Yeah, the hit rate's quite low. I feel like 30% of what we went to buy doesn't get returned.
The hit rate is very low. The common phrase in this office right now is, wow, we should have tested it before opening this.
We should have planned things a little bit better.
Yeah. What do you think?
Nah, the space is really good. Obviously, there's stuff, trial and error is what I think we're gonna roll with. But yeah, just seeing what works with our workflow and yeah.
So we are situated right next to Benson, just one door down. This is mainly not going to be for clients actually. We're actually going to run this as an editing kind of a workspace. Putting multiple editors, photos and videos, putting into one central location, so at any given point, any of us can kind of go in and finish a project from what they've done, instead of going from house to house, hard drive to hard drive. We just have everything in central location. So I guess first of all, let's go into like everyone's brief story, right? Obviously, I met you
Through your brother, actually.
I met you through my brother.
Yeah. So I was always into cars, blah, 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 car meets, photo shoots. I was kind of just getting into photo and whatnot. Met his brother and he's like, oh, you should meet my brother. He does wedding videos. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm getting into video. It'd be cool to meet your brother.
Yeah, you were this guy that Tim was just like, hey, I know someone who's in film school. And then I'm like, film school?
Tim is the cooler brother. This guy's a bit of a...
Film school. Apparently that makes you a videographer. But I don't
anyway,
know.
got into it, introduced me to Daniel, and long story short,
I think we just started with like freelancing for each other, right? So like,
basically, yeah.
I used him for a couple of projects. He used me for a couple of projects. We just helped each other out. And then it kind of moved over to the idea of like, I had a brand. It was Oh Fuck It's Monday. It was still like a blog. It died, but it had a lot of following in Sydney only, around the car community. And I was like, why don't we rebirth that into a video blog instead of blog? And then we did people stories, because that's what we were both into, were people stories with their cars. We did kind of like, what's that brand? Petrolicious? Is that what it is?
Yeah, that was more the inspiration,
right.
The Petrolicious style videos on YouTube. That's kind of just the inspiration from those OFIM videos we were making. But
can we do that?
we want to turn it into something more corporate and actually, I guess, yeah, from freelancing, sort of make the brand more corporate and also just combine everything under the one brand rather than, you know, Fatty Films being my previous brand.
For those that don't know, the reason why it's called Monday Made, I don't know why. I don't think it's a great name, but it's stuck with us. We started with Oh Fuck It's Monday, and then we decided to go into corporate and actually look a bit more professional. And I guess we just didn't think fuck's the right word. You know, you don't want like big brands to kind of go, oh, I know these great videographers that we work with, their name is Oh Fuck It's Monday.
Yeah, so I think it was the right move, although the name doesn't have too much meaning behind it, but it is a question we get asked quite a lot.
But I like it, I like it. We stuck with it. The Monday's the right theme. It says Monday Made as an ironic thing, because we never do anything on Mondays.
No one likes Mondays.
It's sleeping time.
Right in front of us there's a sign saying Monday we're closed and every other day appointment only. But I mean, we still work on Mondays, so it's really just like a really bad dad joke. So disregard.
What about you? So how did you like, you weren't always a freelancer, right?
Yeah,
so
pretty much.
What happened?
Same thing, started through the automated stuff on my P plates, had a camera.
True. Did car videos? Yeah.
Car videos, car photos, stuff like that. And then pretty much fell out of that throughout high school. And then COVID came back, had all this time on my hands, got back on my camera, was studying marketing at the time. And I was like, you know what, let's see how it goes with this whole creative type thing. And then I'm big into fitness, right? So a PT hit me up. She's like, I need some photos for this little brand, blah, 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 blah. Did that for her. And she's like, your work is actually at a professional level. You should consider doing it full time or try and make some money from it. And then from there, just took the leap of faith, and that's where it all started.
When was the transition to just like, yep, I'm freelancer now, full-time freelancer?
Pretty much from COVID, when COVID started. Oh, so pretty much when all our jobs went redundant, especially in the retail industry, I was like, you know what? I want to get out of retail. Let's try something new.
Yeah, right.
How we found Jono?
How did you find Jono? That was you.
Yeah, that was me.
You.
Yeah, it was just
we went out on Instagram.
Yeah, pretty much. I think I've been seeing your work on Instagram, and Daniel was like, we need to find some people to help us out. I mean, we can't do everything on our own. Me and Dan, filming, editing, also running a business, and you know, just everything.
Oh, that's right. No, Benzin started, right? So Benzin started, and I told Fatih, hey, I'll help as much as I can, but something big is happening, and I'm going to be pretty damn busy. And then it did start, COVID hit and everything, even though COVID means you're not busy, but it means owners are like hands-on. But around that time is when kind of Fatih went, doing way too much for one person. Yeah, let's find someone. And that was through Instagram?
Yeah, pretty much. Reach out to Jono and just like, hey, you wanna?
Oh no, you already knew him before, like of his work.
Of his work, yeah. Never met Jono. Just sort of saw his work, you know, saw its quality stuff, and I just thought, hey, you know, let's help a brother out, and here we are.
Hey, quick fire question. First impression of Fatih.
Be honest. No, don't be honest.
Bold.
Okay, quick fire question. First impression of Jono.
Short.
Yeah.
I don't really exactly know what happened, or I don't exactly remember what happened, but we're having a chat, and you're like, oh, I met with Jono. And then I met up with you a second time around, I think, right? Together. The cool thing about Jono, the cool thing about you is like, you reach out, like as in like, you're not in your own zone where a lot of creatives, what happened is that they're all in their own zone, and they don't want to collaborate, but at the same time, they don't want to be the one that reaches out.
Yeah.
Because they feel like if I reach out, I'm the one that needs something, which is kind of silly, right?
You're like vulnerable.
Yeah, like you're supposed to be working together to kind of create something better. Yeah. Which is the cool thing about you, and I think that's the right mindset to kind of go ahead, like forward with all of this kind of stuff. That's the one thing that stuck out to me, man. So before doing this video, I asked a bunch of people from, I guess, Instagram, from different accounts, what they'd like to know about being a videographer, photographer, or business in general. I guess in a way, like I would love to be able to kind of like invite other creatives, tell their story, but also their tips and tricks, enlighten what most people may be scared of going into freelancing or creative industry. And also just to kind of invite everyone to kind of give as much questions to us as possible. And for us that have done it, to kind of give back and say, hey, this is how we've done it. It may not be the best way to do it, but this is how, right? And then.
But also we're learning as well. I mean, you might do it in a different way, and then it's like, wow, I had no idea.
Of course.
I'm learning new things every day. I'm scrolling through through reels, and I'm like, that would have saved me hours.
Let me pull up the questions. But Harvey Cregan asked, what made you want to start your own business? I guess we can rephrase it. What made you want to start freelancing? I'm going to Jono first. Jono. Because you're the freshest.
All right, yeah. Basically your own boss. So work whenever you want, have a break whenever you want. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Flexibility.
Flexibility, yes.
I was in 9 to 5 for 10 years in IT. Job I didn't mind so much. I mean, things kind of just got a bit mundane. 10 years in the same place. I mean, different job titles, starting from, you know, moving around different departments and whatnot. But towards the tail end of that, I was kind of just, really over it. Checked out. I've always enjoyed photography. I've always loved photography, even during high school, but I've always doubted myself thinking, oh, I can't, you know, it's no work out there, I'm not good enough, blah, blah, blah.
It's the risk that you're scared of.
The risk I was really scared of, and yeah, 100%, the risk was definitely scary, but when things got bad enough, or when I felt, you know, really shitty with that, you know, just over it, 10 years is a long time to be in one place.
Yeah, like, I was really surprised actually, because like when I first met you and then we were studying Matemat and everything, you were the youngest person I know that had tenure. Like, he had long service leave.
I resigned and left on my 10-year long service. So on the day is the day I left to do this full time.
How old were you?
I was 26.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, I'm on my long service leave. I was like, how old are you? He's like, I'm 26. I'm like, bro.
Yeah, I started working full time 16 in that company. And they're actually one of our biggest clients now. They're still, you know, still a part of the Luxottica fam.
Yeah, yeah.
Grateful for the industry, but also just the people that I work with and people that I met along the way, and obviously family being, you know, like everyone being supportive and everything like that as well. Would have been a lot harder without them. So I have to say that.
Mine was a bit different, right? I think everyone around me knew that, yep, that guy's not gonna work for anyone ever in his life. So I was still in uni. I was given the best opportunity, I have to say. I was in uni, second year, haven't even like properly touched videography yet, right? It wasn't exactly 9 to 5, but I rocked up there and it was actually a really easy job. Like they told me, they're like, hey Dan, what we need you to do is 3 days a week, be an assistant editor to multiple projects that we have on. And they were big projects, right? That's where I learned a lot of like skills on culling and everything like that. Like, don't laugh, organizational skills. I laughed at myself. Anyway,
how's that going along?
Yeah, look, great.
Can I just say, what organization? He was having a go at someone. He was having a go earlier, saying, "Why does everyone always leave things behind?" And I looked at his wife was sitting over there, and we just looked at each other. She's like, "I'm like, yeah, no words, because that's exactly what he does." Carry on.
Lesson learned. Don't have a business partner.
Don't bring wife to the office.
Don't bring wife. So I got the job, 3 days a week, mind you, and still, I thought that was too much. I did not come 9 to 5. I negotiated my way into starting at 12 p.m. because I didn't want to drive in peak hour traffic. But I did leave at 10 p.m. and I didn't log the 10 hours, I only logged the 8 hours. So anyway, from there on, I think Irene was kind of already saying like, yeah, you're definitely not made for this. Like you're not made for working for someone. Anyway.
Tell me you're spoiled without telling me you're spoiled.
Yeah, but it was a sweet gig though. Like that's the thing that made me know that I want to go into freelance or like working for myself, because it was a sweet gig. Like I was editing for Paul Kelly documentaries. Like it was an awesome job for anyone wanting to go into film, right? The hours are great, the pay is great, the scenario is great, the people were amazing, they supported. They let me like get as much training as possible. Even then, in my head, I'm like, it's like, I'm just not creating things for myself though. So, left that for weddings. We got a really, really important one from Alfred. I'm gonna direct this one to you. Yep. How do you actually convince Fatih to actually do some work? Shout out to Alfred, great question. Great
yeah, Alfred, so basically you tell him to walk 10 steps this way, take a vape, and it's all good. That's his juice.
Where'd it work out?
Yeah, right? So
true,
Steve,
Thanks,
said,
Steve.
what is the hardest part about a photographer / videographer?
The hardest part?
Yeah, hardest part.
I reckon it's like mental block. So there is days where you just can't think of anything. So it's just hard to overcome that barrier, and sometimes you just gotta stop everything you're doing and just let your mind think about it and let it come to you. So that's why it's good we have this space, because we want this space to obviously help our creative flows and think of ideas and bring things to life essentially. So yeah, I reckon that's the hardest thing for me.
Yeah, look, for me, it's probably just like balancing the workload, but also running a business, but also doing the creative stuff together in the same time. Yeah, it's a bit hard. Like sometimes you get too into a specific project, and you kind of in film school I learned this as well. You never really finish a project, you abandon it. That's something that stuck with me. You You never finish.
That's so artsy, yo.
Yeah, but it's true. That's true.
Mr. Film School.
That's true. That's that
You
film
need to-
school.
it's time management is another thing as well. Time management when it comes
That
to
is that film school mentality. You abandon it.
it's true. It's
That
tough.
is true, but I'm just saying the way you put it is very
I'm an artsy guy, bro.
exposure tokens. That's 2 words, but exposure tokens. Exposure tokens. That is actually the hardest thing, right?
It's more
Like,
hard starting off. Starting
not
off.
really, man. Like even us right now, people will still ask for it, or people ask for a massive discount just purely because, hey, video will get you exposure.
Yeah, I mean, you always
I
get.
mean, like last time I checked, man, I can't put my daughter to school with exposure tokens. It just doesn't work.
You gotta try harder.
Sushi. I don't know, like sushi, that's just his Instagram name. If I want to start on my own, how much fallback money do I need? Did anyone like saved up enough fallback money?
Nah. So I basically started with my sister's old camera. I didn't even know what it was. And then basically just saved up and got a secondhand camera and just went from there. Started off with a Sony. Shout out to my Sony boys. But yeah, even in today's technology, like you can start with a phone, don't need much money, like it's all in front of you. So it all comes from here and using your mind and being creative and having your own style and then going from there and then make a bit of money and then purchase the camera.
So, did you have fallback money?
I wouldn't say fallback money. Obviously, I had a day job before, so that kind of helped me funding my own camera. But I mean, I didn't exactly have a savings or whatever. I went and bought myself. My first camera was the Canon 6D, which isn't exactly an amazing video camera. It did the job.
I remember the 60. I remember the 60.
Yeah, I mean, I paid that camera off probably within like 3 to 6 months.
Yeah.
But obviously, since then you just go and buy yourself a tripod. Just the essential equipment is what you need, I guess. But like Jono said, you can just use your phone, and the cliche thing to say is just stick to it and do it, and you get better and you learn. But I mean, you don't really need a ton of money to get started. You really don't.
I think you just overthink to yourself sometimes when you want to jump into it. You think like, I want to start my own business. I need to have people. I need to have staff. Not really in this industry, really, because like you can kind of start it yourself just to build a brand. Also, just not building the brand, you're building your experience and your knowledge, right? And also, the best thing is you're building your style, right? You got to find your style, find that thing that defines you, so that people can get that because they want that style. They're not getting you for the price, right? So, I think people are overthinking it, like how far you are like in your life, right? Because like if you're a young person and say you just got out of uni, still living at home, you don't really need fallback money, and you should be using that time like as an advantage that you don't have much expenses, you don't have much liabilities, you don't have much responsibilities, and to just kind of go full send into whatever you want to do.
That's what I did.
Exactly, right?
Fully commit to it.
But obviously if you're later on, then there may be some kind of fallback money that you need because, well, you're taking out a salary for something that's of the unknown.
Yeah, so
Right.
just threw myself in the deep end. Like I said, I never thought that my work was at a professional grade. I just did it for fun because I loved it. But yeah, like you said, because I loved it so much, I had a passion in it, I had the eye for it, it ended up looking good to someone else, and then that made me think my work looked good.
Sarah's Media asked, did you ever or still outsource the content creation?
Did I ever outsource the
Or
content?
still outsource content creation? Do you still, or did you ever outsource or still outsource?
I started outsourcing as of recently. Pretty much like things start to get hectic, and then you start doing things, and then you half-cast things pretty much, and then you don't put your full effort into it. So outsourcing is just pretty much a easy way to help yourself.
I know there's 2 types of outsourcing, right? For us anyway, specifically. Yeah. The first type is to collaborate. I don't really call that outsourcing, but it kind of is because you're using other people to do the work, right?
Yeah.
I really think outsourcing is a really powerful tool. And into that, collaborating is a powerful tool, right? Because first of all, you're going to share your knowledge, you're going to share your ideas. The other person's going to bring that knowledge and ideas to their own work, but also you're going to bring whatever the ideas they bring into your next work, right? And again, like what you said, help manage the load.
But also some people just have more experience in a certain field, and some people have
That's
more
true.
experience in another field. So it's like, you kind of just, like you said, collaborate and work together with some things. Like, an example might be
Special effects or something.
special effects.
That's right, yeah.
In post, or when it comes to the production side of things. it might be-
Animation, logo design, whatever we may take on as part of a package. some parts of that might be done with someone else.
Yeah, someone that has more experience and knowledge, but at the end of the day, like you said, we're still all involved and we all put our hands in it and get involved. And
That's what I mean. So I think it's really powerful because it's not just outsourcing that we're talking about. We're talking about building a network that any of us can use at any given time to do something that we need to do. Certified lens. Mr. Certified Lens, how do I improve my filming technique for smoothness?
Get a Sony.
This guy,
Sony.
we just had the whole thing about like, don't worry about your equipment. And this guy's like, you don't need technique, you need IBIS.
Smoothness in particular.
Techniques for smoothness.
All right, well, obviously this is, some things involve hardware, obviously, you know, having a camera that has stabilizing, having a lens that stabilizes. If we're talking about technical side of things, about that smooth shot. Gimbals these days are getting much better.
But it really,
lighter.
so I guess it depends on your equipment, right?
But it depends on the question as well. I mean, you're saying smooth. I mean, it could even be a smooth flow of a video in general.
True.
It could be a smooth transition from one shot to another.
True.
It could be smooth from start to end in terms of just shot placement and storytelling. So
Facts.
no, but seriously, it's
No, that's right.
If you're talking about just like a smooth transition or a smooth
So if you're
shot
talking about
in general,
if you're talking about equipment, right? Obviously, it depends on what you have and how good of a software that equipment is to kind of make your shot smoother. But there are things that you can do to help your equipment, right? Like what you just said, ninja walk, right? Walking on your toes is going to be a lot better than you walking on your heel then your toe, because you're going to introduce a lot of shake in that sense, right? Putting your camera to your eye, it's going to be a lot smoother because the best gimbal in the world is still your neck. So if the more things are connected to your neck, smoother. So there are still certain things, like you, for example, right? If you're going to do a side shot, you don't walk sideways, you shift your body sideways until you can't shift anymore, then you take a step so that there's a longer period of that shot, a shot that you're not actually walking.
Yeah.
Because walking is what creates a jitter.
Up and down for the shot, yeah, for sure. Yeah, with those gimbals, movement shots.
Was there
100%.
anything else? Oh, you do the sniper thing. The one that I just said, right? You do the sniper thing. You know when snipers trying to take a shot? Yeah. And they're trying to steady the sniper, they don't take a breath, right? They hold their breath. Yeah, Fatih does that. He's like, and he goes, yeah.
Hey, look, if it's stupid and it works, it's not stupid.
I don't know, but yeah, it does work. I gotta say, it does work. But
It works.
anything else that you do?
Just use what you got. If you got a skateboard, use a skateboard.
That's right.
Just get creative with it as well. Like
You
I
use
don't
what's
know.
around you,
If
yeah.
you've got like a rolling chair, get someone to push you with the rolling chair or something like that.
Yeah, you know, Hollywood still does that, right? Like skateboard, rolling chair. What's the other one that I saw? There was that mad video, right, of a guy doing gimbal work in a movie, in one of the like an actual Hollywood blockbuster movie, and he had to go through sideways in a chase or something, and then he had to jump into a car, like through the window, right, all into one shot, and he used a hoverboard. So it was like hoverboard, and then he gets off and he jumps into the car like that, right? I'm like, so you got to use whatever's around you. There's multiple techniques. And everything
Even
like
when
that.
doing handheld, like sometimes I would, like if I'm doing a slider shot and I haven't got a slider on me or whatever, it's just like,
Use a cloth.
use a
Oh,
cloth.
I remember, the towel trick.
Yeah, you would use a cloth, even just
So
a piece of
good.
tissue that's just to have less friction on the table, just sort of move.
Yeah.
You might want to increase your frame rate on your camera and just do faster movements and slow it down rather than trying to do it slow yourself because you're going to be shaky as you're moving. So things like that
Definitely
you
break
can play around
rules. I'm always here to say, definitely break rules. Break the rules that suits your environment and your shooting, whatever you're shooting and whatever you have. So if you don't have the highest amount of equipment, just break the rules so that it fits your equipment, really. Like, who cares? At the end of the day, it's going to go, most of these work go to where? Computer and phones. They're not really going to go to a big screen and just have fun with it, yeah. What about, like you said then, if it's not equipment, how do you improve your smoothness?
in terms of storytelling and shot placement and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll just go all in without thinking, no planning, something like that. But the best thing that I've done recently is like storyboarding and just planning out a shoot. Even if it's just a bare skeleton and just seeing what it is and then bouncing off that skeleton.
And it guides you, I guess,
And it
right?
guides you. This is
You
a
know what
guide
the
and
next step is.
you know what the start is, you know what the end is at
Yep.
least. And then you fill in the gaps. So, yeah.
The best tip I was given for storytelling or like, I guess, again, flow of work, right? Is that if you don't have a storyboard, if you don't know what you're going into it, and you go into a room and you have to shoot it straight away, you do wide, mid, close, 3 shots, 6 seconds each shot, right? And then you have a variety of shots for you to work with in the edit, right? So always with everything, it's kind of like if you don't know what you're doing. Let's say like a person's walking through the door, then you do a wide of them walking through the door. You do a mid from a different angle from the side going through the door, and then you do a close-up of their hand grabbing handles going through the door. That itself is already storytelling in itself, right? Yeah. And then you do that in multiple angles, multiple times, short shots each. Then within a short period of time, you're kind of increasing the amount of footage that you have.
100%. Plus fillers, exterior shots, establishing shots, B-roll being the fillers, also helps with...
Directions. Please guys, don't be like old mate here. You go left to right, your next shot needs to be right to left. Boys, girls, everybody.
Yeah, I favor left to right.
It doesn't mean that that's going to be the next edit, the cut in the edit. I'm just saying it increases your chance of not having left to right, left to right, left to right, left to right, left. Just sounds like a really bad song. Yeah.
When you first start off, you find yourself shooting a lot more than you do when you, like now, right? Yep. Especially with specific jobs that you've done so many times as well.
Yep.
You would sort of overshoot and you'd have, probably like only use 30% of your shots. Whereas you want to sort of increase that percentage and sort of get to like 70, 80% of the shots that you've shot, you use in the edit. So the more percentage you have, I feel like is better, but also definitely helps when you plan and just shoot the stuff that you need. Yeah. Obviously more efficient, save more time.
What is your biggest obstacle while you're starting your own business? What is the biggest obstacle? Apart from risk.
Doubting yourself and just sort of being hesitant to get started, or just, I guess, finding excuses to not get started, whether you have no time or you don't want to take a risk and you don't want to go buy a camera, you're not sure what to get, or you might not think you're good enough, or you might not think you're going to make money doing this sort of thing. So that kind of thing, it's like, that was for me anyways, like for the longest time, I could have started way earlier. I could have left my day job way earlier when I was a bit younger, and it was more
you mean like self-doubt to start your own, right?
I think more for starting the getting into this business or freelancing in general, right? Just the doubt that I could sustain it and make money, and just doubting myself and not thinking I'm good enough or whatever. So I feel like that was a big thing for me to get started. For the longest time, I had to, go through a really shitty time, just personally to be like, nah, I can't keep doing this. I have to really go out and do something that I enjoy.
Yeah.
And that was it. Like going back to what we said before, just fully committing to it, and trying to improve my craft and get better. And here we are, about what, almost 10 years. Still
10 years. Oh, another 10 years. You need another long service leave, mate.
Long service. Where's my money, bitch?
What about you?
Probably bouncing off that, it would be probably like knowing my worth.
That's right. That's good. Yeah.
So even to this day, like if I go film into a different industry, because I mainly do health and fitness, right? If you throw me into like the food industry, for example, I wouldn't know my worth in the food industry, right?
Yeah, yeah. But I think you're right there. Like knowing your worth in terms of knowing where to set your standard. Yeah. Obviously your standard's going to go higher, but it's really important to not be lower than your current standard when you're starting out. Yeah. Because everyone gets used to it, right? Yeah. And then they're kind of like, oh, I kind of had you cheaper before,
Yeah. And then you're asking everyone, what do you price? What do you price? How do you do this? Blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, just know what you're worth.
But that's kind of like really dangerous, right? To kind of like ask everyone. Because everyone's kind of different. They've got a different clientele. Exactly. Don't go into that rabbit hole. Just be like, what do you think your time is worth? Yes. Exposure is probably the biggest obstacle anyone really has. Yeah. And I know I just said you can't take exposure token because they don't exist. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have exposure. But I think exposure, real natural exposure, is probably the biggest obstacle as a photographer, videographer starting out.
100%. I think I showed
clients, right?
I showed everyone on my socials and just my whole community, and I guess people that I know, family and friends, and everyone knew that I was fully committed into this. Everyone knew that I love what I do, and that this is what I want to do. And I think by people knowing that I'm in video, that I'm doing this, it's like, oh, randomly someone that I might have had on Facebook and not even really ever spoken to or don't really know really well, they might reach out to their employer and be like, oh, you're looking for someone to do a video. I might know someone. So
yeah. But that's the thing though, like going off that, again, exposure is the biggest obstacle that in my head. But the best thing you can have when you're starting out, or even like, you have to have the right people Now, you have to have the right people surrounding you, you have the right people in your team, you have the right people that you're collaborating with just to kind of make it work. Because if you don't, you know, people are the most important thing. So I was really lucky with the wedding stuff, got amazing team, amazing people that's still with us now, right? Obviously with Monday Made, with Jono, with you, right? So what makes it work, right? Yeah. So
Like-minded people.
Yeah, that you really gotta watch out for when you're starting out. And that goes into your clients too though. Like, the creatives gotta remember you guys have a choice on who to take the jobs. It's not the other way around. They're asking for you to do the job. You're accepting to do the job, right? Yeah. So make sure you're picking the right people that you're aligning yourself with, because the jobs that come out of that job are going to be of the same people. So your network, your circle for your clients also have to be the right people. Mr. Katabay, he's also another creative who quit his full-time job and he's got family. He's quit his full-time job to be a creative. Amazing
Respect.
things. He's doing amazing things.
Respect.
What's the one thing that keeps you going?
One thing that keeps me
He's got a tattoo that says create, that's it. He's like, well, I'm already there. I can't back down now.
Well, honestly, same thing as well. Like, I've got half a sleeve as well, and I thought I was going to be working in corporate as well. I actually got the tattoo thinking, like, it's a reminder to myself saying, no, I'm going to stay in this creative industry. I'm good at what I do, and I'm not going to work a 9 to 5 ever again. So just having that mental thing running in the back of my head, just saying, keep going. Yes, it's going to get hard at times, but that's the fun about it, right? So yeah, you just got to love what you do and go from there.
I think, yes, pretty much very much the same for me as well. I mean, I did 9 to 5, 10 years, and yeah, I couldn't go back to it. I mean, obviously there was a lot I loved about it. There was still now, even I still think it's like, oh man, clock off at 5, you can do whatever you want, play COD all night and not worry.
No pandemic.
No, no, but 100% it's like, I obviously love what I do, and yeah, I could never look back. I mean, I couldn't have it any other way. So yeah, it's like the freedom, but you know, yeah, you have the freedom, you can work when you want and not work when you want, but I find myself working a lot more than I was in the past. Like, you know, midnight, I'm thinking, oh, did I charge that battery, or did I email that client?
Yeah.
So
you can't quantify how many hours you do now, really.
100%. But it's like the main thing is you just love what you do. It's your baby. So that's the thing. You care about it so much, and obviously that's gonna keep you going. So yeah, your family.
I mean, yeah, no, obviously my family is what keeps me going to keep working. It's a different question, but like what keeps me going in this industry is I really want to create something. I really want to create something like a brand, or I don't know how you call it. Like I really want to make Monday Made, right? A place where someone would be proud to work in or be a part of, right? That's something that I'm pretty passionate about. So I'm really happy that we created something that you're happy to work in and be a part of and represent. And if you're, say, stay in our circle for a very long time, I would love for Monday Made to kind of be an umbrella where you're happy to be to be a part of, right? Like, and then other editors, like if we're gonna fill this space with editors, for example, right? I just want it to be a place where they're kind of really proud. Hey, by the way, you know, I'm starting out in this industry and I started out at Monday Made. That'll be pretty cool, right? To know that I don't mind being that first stepping stone. And I also want to keep going, and you know, for any kind of creatives to keep asking us questions, and I want to have that conversation, whether it be us to them or them to us, kind of thing. Yeah. So that's for me. But yeah, and also family. Yes, family. Thank you for reminding me. I won't be in trouble.
Got you, Irene.
That's all the questions that we've got that we'd love to answer. Again, welcoming everyone to kind of our office space, our new HQ. We'll be running edits, we'll be running a lot of kind of, I guess, would love to do a few studio shoots here as well. But yeah, all in all, just a great place to work in. What do you want to see? This is a cliche one though. What do you want to see in the new year? Because we're pretty close to it now. What do you want to see in the new year for this space, for Monday Made, whatever?
I think for me, it's a big thing. Like, we've been wanting an office for so long. So like, only started working here, what, a week now. It's like, it's still
it's fresh.
Like, yeah, it's still like, I'm still like, wow, like we have our own space. This is like something we've been wanting to do for so long. So yeah, for me, it's just the adjustment from like, you know, working from home to now getting a lot of stuff done here, all my equipment being here, all our footage being here. The workflow is going to be changing, trying to get more organized, and yeah, eventually building a team and filling up the space. And
Filling up the space, that's what I want to see. Filling up the space.
For sure, filling up the space with people, but also, you know, just some more stuff on the walls and make it look a bit more of a vibe in here. But yeah, nah, for sure.
Now that COVID's over, I do want to see us going to another trip.
Another
A
trip.
work trip, right? And another film trip, right?
Yeah.
We did it before, COVID hit, didn't happen. Want to see it again, let's do it again. Doesn't matter where, as long as it's nice.
Yeah, same thing. Probably just try new projects, do new things, get in front of the camera.
Get in front of the camera, you are doing BTS. Nice.
Exactly, so haven't really put myself in front of the camera, so time to do it. We got the space to do it now, so yeah.
All right, so thanks guys for tuning in. I am gonna put Fatih I'm gonna make him accountable. We are putting more videos on YouTube. This will be the first, obviously introducing the office. There's other things happening. Apparently he wants to unbox some stuff. We don't know what stuff that he's gonna unbox. I guess it's a surprise to us all. We've got a couch as well. He'll do some weird stuff. But until the next video, thanks for joining in guys. See ya.
See ya.